गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे We are in Amrutanubhava, verse number 159, page 577 of the 7th chapter. Here again, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is taking us to explain that everything is that one infinite truth, where this phenomena of seeing, seer and seen is beginningless. Seer is beginningless, seen is beginningless. In the previous verse he said, how can there be two beginningless? Cannot be. So it is that one beginningless in which two are imagined. The seer is imagined, the seen is imagined, and the substratum is that beginningless reality, endless reality. And then he says, what is the relationship between Paramatma and the world of plurality? He says, can one establish relationship between emptiness and space, touch and air, fire and heat? Meaning, they are one and the same. This is so beautifully said. Just like heat and fire you cannot separate, touch and air, because what is touch? It's the quality of the air, is to touch. What is the quality of the space? The sound and emptiness. So how can you separate? Can you see emptiness as separate to space, or it's one and the same thing? Can you separate heat from fire? It's one and the same thing. Can you separate touch from air? It is the same thing. Can you separate seer and seen? Can you separate seer and seen? They are the one and the same reality. So with these examples, he is bringing us back to the seer and seen. That seer and seen, even though they seem to be two in our words, in our experience, sometimes we experience heat and sometimes we experience fire, isn't it? We see an empty pot and we say this total space, but it's the same space which is in that emptiness of a pot also. So he's taking us mind away from coming to a conclusion about anything in that matter. That even though we are having this experience saying I am the seer and you are all the seen, but actually it is the one and the same thing. So in contemplation of such thoughts, what will happen? Our mind, which is so conditioned with individuality, it will melt away. That is what will happen. And when that melts away, then what will remain? Just that one reality. And in this way, it is told that divinity, that reality, that Lord himself is the creator and himself is the created. He himself is the experiencer, and he himself is experiencing. The water itself is the creator of the waves, and it also is the wave, isn't it? What now? I just started.
This Trinity business, if there's a seer and the seen are the one.
This is seer and seen, there is no Trinity. Where is the third one?
That's what I want to know.
So I didn't say, I'm not talking about Trinity, so why you're bringing it in?
Yes.
I'm not talking about Trinity.
Okay.
I just started. Give me a break.
Yes, I know. He's letting get warmed up.
So God Himself is the creator, God Himself is the created, the seer has come out of the one, the seen has also come out of the one, just like in the dream, the dreamer has come out of that one mind, and the dreamed or the dream world has also come out of the same mind, and there in that one mind, the duality of dreamer and the dream world. The seer is the dreamer, experiencer is the dreamer, knower is the dreamer, and the dream world is the seen, the experienced, the known.
That's the Trinity.
So that one mind is as if expressing as two. That phenomena continues. But where are we fixated? We are fixated on the phenomena.
So we see the differences.
And therefore, and then we get caught up in the differences. The teacher here, Jnaneshwar Maharaj, is saying, come back to be that substratum. That you are essentially. How beautiful. The world is the expansion of the truth. This is said in the next OV. विश्वापणे उजीवडे तरी विश्व देखे पुढे नाते नाही तरी ते वढे नाहीच देखे. He says, on manifestation, Paramatma becomes the seer of the world, and on dissolution, he is the seer of the absence. So he is the eternal seer, because this phenomena will continue. And what is this phenomena? Creation, maintenance, and destruction. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, that is the Trinity now. So, something is created, it is maintained for some time, and then it destroys, and gets destroyed. And this is the phenomena. Whether you take it as your thought is created, it is maintained, it dies. Your breath, it begins, it stays for some time, it dies. Your action, it begins, it stays, and it dies. Your seeing of any object, hearing of any object, tasting on any object, it begins, it stays for some time, then afterwards you give it up. So also your experiences, they begin, they stay for some time, they end. The waker begins with the waking world, begins, stays for some time, by right it will go away. Then the dreamer will begin, it will stay for some time, it will go away. See? So here the teacher is bringing us to our attention. First he said that the reality alone is, it alone is the seer, it alone is the seen. We gave you the example of the dream. Now here he is saying in this that what does it do? That this Paramatma, this reality, becomes the seer of the world. And what is the it sees what? When we talk about world, don't think about only this world. Our definition of world is different. What is the world? The waking and the dream is called the world, the manifest world. And the deep sleep is the unmanifest world. Isn't it? And what is deep sleep? The absence of the world, absence of the manifest world. So, this seer first is the seen, and what is it seeing? It is seeing the waking and the dream, which is the manifest world. And when they both vanish, when they both die, then what does he see? He sees the absence. He sees the absence. How can you say, sir? Because it is our experience, it is our direct experience. Every day we are doing that. So it is not a cock and bull story which is being created, someone's imagination, and it is being presented to us. Whatever Mahatmas, realized masters say, or Vedas say, or Upanishads say, it is reflecting what each and everyone's experience is in the life. The pure consciousness, when it manifests in the form of the world is seen. Then it becomes the seer and sees names and forms. When the manifestation is withdrawn, there is nothing to see, then the consciousness starts seeing the absence, and this one will experience on the seat of meditation also. So, as you move deeper and deeper into meditation, initially there is savikalpa samadhi, meaning there is some thought. First you begin with asana, pranayam, pratyahar. Your mind is withdrawn from the world. So all the scene is kept at bay. You enter into your own mind, and then from there dharana, dhyan, samadhi. As you do dharana and dhyan, there is a thought which you are seeing, which the mind is chanting or mind is contemplating upon, and then somewhere along the way you get into samadhi where there is nothing. There's only you. See? And in between the last thought and the samadhi, there is one there is one challenge which appears. And what is that? The challenge of absence, the challenge of the void. And to correct that, so that we don't fall. And what is that absence? Absence is, and void is, that you go into sleep. You don't become afraid of that void, afraid of that. Recognize that this absence which is there, which is all pervading, it is conscious absence. You cannot get rid of the absence. Because as long as you are an individual, you will go through the waking and the dream and the deep sleep. Then it becomes the seer and sees the names and forms. When the manifestation is withdrawn, there is nothing to see. Then the consciousness starts seeing the absence. In this way, the presence in the waking and dream states, as well as the absence in the deep sleep state, is illumined by the same consciousness. In other words, manifestation and non-manifestation of the world have no meaning for the eternal existence that I am. Manifestation of the waves or unmanifestation of the waves, disappearance of the waves, has got no meaning from the point of view of the water, who is the eternal seer. In its presence, all the waves are coming, maintained, and go and die. But from the water's point of view, it has not become anything, it has not unbecome anything. Isn't it? From the gold's point of view, it has not become or unbecome anything. The ornaments become and unbecome. But even if ornament is there, the gold continues to be. When the ornament is not there, the gold continues to be. So now make it subjective. Whether the waking and the dream world is there or not there, I continue to be. So here the teacher is bringing it to our attention. You are that eternal principle. You are that continuous principle. You are that divinity, essentially. So don't get caught up in the phenomena. Let the phenomena continue. But you come back to your original self. See that this is your glory which is expressing. It is not something to be afraid of. It is not something to be attached with. How miserable is our existence that out of the total experience of our life, which is waking, dream and deep sleep, we are living only attached to one husband, one child or few children with one body, and that too only 1/3 aspect of the phenomena, which is the waking. In the waking, we have taken ourselves to be this one body and our own mind. We only have manifested the whole waking world. But out of that whole waking world, I am only this body, how miserable we have become because of this attachment. And this attachment, by thinking, you cannot give it up. It can be given up only by the grace of the divine. So how do you think of the grace? How do you come to the divine? How do you come to that infinite principle? In this manner of contemplation. In other words, manifestation and non-manifestation of the world have no meaning for the eternal existence that I am. Again and again ascertain to yourself that I am the one who's supporting the manifestation of the waking world and the dream world, and I'm also supporting and manifesting or seeing the absence of both of them. Then who am I really? I am the one, the eternal seer. Because this phenomena will continue. It has gone on from the time of birth till today, isn't it? Secondly, the manifestation and withdrawal are alternately going on because they are not two. Like the gold and the ornaments, they are one and the same. From the time we wake up in the morning, the concept of time or the scale of time is accepted by the mind. When this begins, identification with the gross body and all the accompanying commitments in the gross world start consolidating, resulting in the individuality. This game is going on right from the moment we know ourselves, or perhaps more accurately, from the moment we do not know ourselves. Thus, when the Supreme expands as the world of names and forms, it becomes the seer and the seen. When the world is withdrawn, it does not see anything, but the not seeing, the absence, is the seen. Thus, the existence is untouched by the presence or absence of the world. So, what is manifestation and non-manifestation? It is the phenomena. Can absence remain independent of presence? Can absence remain independent of the presence? No. Can the manifested world, the dream or the waking world, can it exist without the presence? No. And just look at yourself yesterday. You know that you were awake. You know that you dreamt. You know that you went to deep sleep, isn't it? So who knows? No point think. Yes, you can only come to this conclusion that there is someone by thinking about the yesterday's experience. But we have to catch that fellow in the now. In the present moment we have to catch him and be that. So as I said, gold does not go through any manifestation or unmanifestation from its point of view. The water does not go through any manifestation or unmanifestation from its point of view, yet the phenomena continues. Where is the phenomena? Is it real? What is called a phenomena? What is the definition of a phenomena?
Something that comes and goes.
Something that is coming, that comes and goes, that which is not permanent, that which is imagined in its own absence, isn't it? Wave is essentially water, but you are calling it wave. It is existing in its own absence. That is a phenomena. See? And in this phenomena, the seer and seen are imagined in this phenomena. So what is the phenomena in us right now? The mind is the phenomena. In this mind, the seer, seen are imagined, the subject and object are imagined, the triad is imagined, The waker, dreamer, deep sleeper are imagined. Just like in you, the woman or the sister, the daughter, the wife, they are imagined. So in the reality, just like in the gold, all the ornaments are imagined, they are nothing but the gold. In the waters, all the waves are imagined. Oh, but is it not reality? Yes, as an individual, when you look at it, you are taking the example of the water. Yes, but is it not really nothing but the water, that wave? It is. See? And in this phenomena, when we get attached to the phenomena, when we give importance to the phenomena, that is when body identification begins, emotional identification begins, conceptual identification begins. And who are you? Who is supporting all this? who is the who is the one who has been always? But on you, just like waves are imagined on the waters, similarly concepts, emotions, thoughts about what? That I have a mind, I have emotions, I have relationships. And why I have relationships? Because I am a body. All these thoughts are imagined on the consciousness. Because what are thoughts? What is mind? Consciousness with thought waves is called mind, isn't it? Consciousness with thought waves is mind. What is what on the waters? Waves are imagined. Actually, it is nothing but waters. Similarly, waves of thoughts are imagined on the ocean of consciousness, on the infinite ocean of consciousness. That infinite ocean of consciousness is my reality. That I am. But where we get stuck? On the waves, on the thoughts. Therefore questions come, therefore answers are required, therefore contemplation is required, therefore sadhana and seeking is going on. Because I want to get free of all the thoughts. I want to come back to myself. But if the right angle of approach is not taken, we might be in the loop only, we'll never come out of it. So here when we think in the way this great master is beckoning us to contemplate, we will come to be established in our own essential nature. The thought continues. You have not been, when you look into the past, when you look into your past, the waking, dream and deep sleep, they have been coming from childhood till this morning or till this moment. Have you been disturbed by these three? They are coming and going on if you look at it a bit, take a step back and look at the whole thing, they come of their own accord, they they are there for some time and then they go away, isn't it? But has it disturbed the continuity of you as the presence? It has not, isn't it? Recognize this about yourself, that I am that pure existence, that reality, the substratum, which is unaffected, undisturbed by the presence or the absence of the phenomena which expresses as the waking, dream and deep sleep, the manifestation which is waking and dream, and unmanifestation which is the deep sleep. This is the way you come back to yourself or be yourself. Continuing, Vishwatse ase nahi विपाये बुडलिया हे ही तरी दशा ऐसी ही देखतची. The presence of the presence of the manifested world and its absence is also witnessed by it. The presence of the manifested world and absence is also witnessed by that eternal presence, that eternal consciousness. Whether the field of experience of the world is present or absent, this eternal seer, the eternal illuminator, is untouched by the presence or absence of the world. Same point which I just explained, it is being made again. Translated into daily experience, it means that no concern will arise in the mind as regards one individuality or the world. The waker, the individuality functioning in relation to the waking world and gaining the experience of in the waking plane of consciousness, the dreamer, the dream and the dream experiences, and the deep sleeper, the deep sleep and the experience of the absence are all supported by the pure consciousness, which is the common denominator for all the three planes of consciousness from all points of expression in the total creation. So this presence that you are, who is supporting the manifestation and unmanifestation, that is the waking experience, the waker, the waking world and the waking experience, the dreamer, dream world and the dream experience, the deep sleeper, deep sleep experience and the deep sleep world which is the absence. All this is supported by that one reality. And it does not only support one person's waking world, waking dream world and the absence of both. It is of everyone. How is that possible? Is it real? How can I come to this point that I, the reality, the pure consciousness, is supporting all the wakers and dreamers and the deep sleepers and their dream world, waking world and the deep sleep world and the experience thereof, of all the people, of all the animals, of all the living beings. Is it possible for us to experience it? Is it possible to come to a point of realization? It will be a revelation, but an appreciation of the fact that I am that reality who is supporting all the wakers, all the dreamers, all the deep sleepers along with their respective worlds and experience. Is it possible?
You'd say it was in light of our teachings, because there's only one.
Are you already experiencing it?
No, not from an individual point. No.
You are.
I'm
You just don't know it.
Oh.
You are. And where is the direct experience? If I say right now, you will say yes. All the people in your dream who were going through in the dream, the people were going through their waking experience, dream experience and deep sleep experience. In the dream, there are people sleeping, waking and dreaming also. Is that not all supported by the one mind?
That's true.
If that is true there, so is true in this waking world. Because this whole waking world is only in the mind, it's not out there. But because we take it to be out there, because we are caught up in the phenomena. And why we are caught up in the phenomena? Because we have started thinking we are the body. We are a thinking person.
That limits us very
That
much.
immediately limits us.
Yeah.
That immediately limits us, and we start seeing I and you are separate.
That's so in the dream too, though, isn't it?
That for the dreamer.
You,
For the dreamer, that is the experience.
yeah.
But
yeah.
when you look at the dream, you know you are the dreamer when you wake up, And you know your mind itself became the dreamed world also. So the both are one only. My mind only became the dreamer and the dream world. The dream world was not some other existence which came and presented itself. My mind itself became the subject and it became the object. And in the dream, it became the dreamer and the object became the dream world. So is true in the waking plane also. So is true in the waking plane also.
But it is out there, isn't it?
No,
It's not.
no,
You mean I am actually creating you and everybody else?
absolutely.
Wow.
But when you take I as joy,
No,
then
no.
you are coming to the wrong conclusion. That I is one without a second principle. So if the wave says, I am creating all the waves, then if it is thinking as a wave, it cannot be the truth. But if that wave has realized that, or even appreciates that I am the water, but because of my identification with my form, I am thinking of myself as the wave, which comes and goes, and before this wave goes away, I want to realize that I am the water, and from the water standpoint of view, all the waves are in me. I am in all the waves. The phenomena is all supported by me. In fact, from the water's point of view, there is no phenomena also. It just is. But this interim, this jump to the infinite, this explanation is necessary. This explanation is only for the mind, so that we can give up our obsession with the phenomena, so that we can come to the essence, come to the truth that we are. And that, so once it realizes that I am the water, then what will be its vision of all the waves? Will it see all the waves as separate to itself? It will be, I am all the waves. I am all the waves. Just like you say when you wake up, all the characters in the dream was me only, was my mind only. They didn't come from outside. They don't have an independent existence. The one mind itself became the space, air, fire, water, earth, river, animals, insects, mosquitoes, fruits, rivers, mountains, the furniture, the houses, the people, the relationships, the body, everything. That one mind alone became everything that you saw in the dream. Same is true in the waking plane also. Same is true in the waking plane. But for that, this obsession with individuality has to be given up. Always think of the total. Always think of yourself. Have the disposition that in that the self is the one, is the continuous principle, and that I am, and on me, on this consciousness, the waking, dream and deep sleep are the phenomena that are coming and going. The moment you become the body, the waking world becomes very real, and as the body, if you try to think about this contemplation that we are having right now, it will become a struggle. It will become a struggle, and there will be heat generated, there will be frustration, there will be questions, there will be doubts. And the more we have questions and doubts, the more we are ascertaining we are an individual. The more we appreciate the standpoint of the totality or the truth of the substratum, then how can there be any questions? Because I alone am. If I alone am, but how? Well, again you come back to individuality.
It's There's no one to ask.
There's no one to ask.
That's right.
And for that, a disposition, a longer and longer disposition has to be had in that, to allow it to seep in, to allow it to pervade the mind. If the mind is always in a questioning mode, then we are not allowing that infinitude of our being to pervade the mind also.
So the thoughts would slow down as a result.
Absolutely. Only then this will reveal,
Yes.
even though it is the truth, but the revelation will take place only when the mind slows down. And therefore, here the teacher is saying that consciousness, which is common denominator for all the three planes of consciousness from all points of expressions in the total creation. That means, where can a wave appear on the ocean, on the waters? Where can the wave appear? Anywhere at any time, isn't it? There is no fixed position that here only the wave will appear and there it will not. No.
Yeah.
Similarly, in this pure consciousness, the waking, dream and deep sleep, this phenomena can appear anywhere at any time. Multiple places. To stay in this thought is to expose oneself to this pregnant, potent silence, the silence in the womb of which everything is contained. Now, Swamiji is saying the same thing, or I am saying the same thing what Swamiji is saying in these beautiful words. I was telling you, maintain that disposition, it has to be revealed. But for that you have to be silent for some time. Not empty silence. Having attention on the conscious principle and to the exclusion of everything else. Same thing here, Swamiji is saying, to stay in this thought of contemplation is to expose one's mind, is to expose who are you as an individual. So individuality is an idea of the mind only, isn't it? So is to expose one's mind to this pregnant, potent silence. And from that, this revelation comes about. All possibilities that everything is within its womb, within itself, within that one, it gets revealed. The change of vision cannot come by question and answers. The change in vision cannot come by reading books. The change of vision comes by the grace. And the grace is always. But for it to reveal itself, silence is required. And not a dull silence, a conscious silence is required. When that silence comes, not as a result of sleep, not as a result of checking out of tiredness, that silence does not come out of a shock, but when that silence comes as a result of deliberate contemplation on the self, on some infinite theme, then it reveals. Whether you do it through these type of thoughts or you do it by remembering the divine, the Lord, same thing, it will come to the same point. Therefore, let one not be sympathetic to one's own individual problems. Swamiji is straight away hits. So what are where is our sympathy to our individual problems? To our doubts and questions and misunderstandings, isn't it? That is where our sympathy is. I need to understand, but I have not understood. Don't give sympathy to it. Mind is the phenomena. It will continue to take you for a ride by asking these type of questions. Who are you? Not the mind. You are the one who is noticing that the mind is going through this process of sometimes asking questions, sometimes not asking questions. Just like you know that mind is the one who is sometimes manifesting and sometimes non-manifesting. Come back to the principle. Come back to the principles on which the creation is functioning. And also let one not get involved in others' lives. Instead, love should be expanded as divine love and as an expression of non-attachment and of the non-individuality. So, the more we get caught up in other people's lives, the more we feel compassion towards our near and dear ones. It is good to feel, but instead of compassion, instead of empathy, instead of pity, you are maintaining duality. But if if the feeling of love is there, then it will be different. When you look at someone, if there is compassion, oh, why this poor person is going through all this? Then immediately the thought goes, I hope I don't go through this. Isn't it? What is happening now? An acceptance of individuality is taking place. An acceptance and attachment to the phenomena is taking place. But if your attention goes to the truth, that this all is an imagination, yes, it is there, no doubt. Let not that be told to the people whom you are interacting with. But inside you, this should be your disposition. That all this world I manifested, this got manifested. I didn't manifest, it got manifested. And every experience that this mind has manifested is for itself, is so that it can learn something from it. Instead of learning, we get attached to that, what it has manifested. Then there is a possibility of coming beyond. If we take this position here as it is given, then if this, just like so many people died in the dream, so many people were born in the dream, I am not affected when I wake up. How come in the waking plane I am so affected? Oh, I took the position of being the waker, took the position of being the individual, and for individual all the what do you call, the duality is there. Come back to ascertain who you essentially are. Come back and take that position again and again. One method of meditation is to regress back over the years to the time when one was still in the mother's womb and even earlier. Throughout, without I, these images cannot be complete. So also in all the three planes of consciousnesses, the substratum I continues to be unbroken, untouched. Such contemplation will keep the mind free of all individualities. With this state of mind, everything can be done. This is what is meant by the statement, seeing without seeing. So here another technique is being given to us. What is that? Rekindle your memories of the past from now till childhood. And if you believe there was you were there before this life, and this is this next, and after this, from past life, then you are born in here. If you can access that, up to you. But one thing is very clear, that all experiences in your life have come and gone, and you have been the continuous presence. This I has been the continuous presence from the birth, at least, from the time of conception till today. You have never been absent. You have never been absent. Keep coming back to this point again and again, that you are a continuous principle. Right now, There is fear in the mind as an individual. A wave is afraid of its annihilation. It will die. Phenomena has to finish because phenomena means creation, maintenance and destruction. If you are attached to this phenomena, you know you are created, you know you are living, but you are afraid of the impending destruction. So before that destruction of this phenomena takes place, determine who you are essentially. Are you the phenomena or are you the continuous principle which is supporting the phenomena? Have you been changing or the body has been changing? Have you been changing or the mind has been changing? Have you been changing or the concepts and ideas have been changing? That which is changing is the phenomena. That which is not changing is the eternal self. But you, this eternal self, attached with the phenomena, feels that it is changing. See, it is as simple as that. It is as simple as that. To remember this all the time, that everything that is changing is the phenomena. You cannot do anything about it. You cannot catch it. You cannot take it with you anywhere. You cannot remove it also. It will go away when it has to go. You cannot make sunset happen before it is meant to happen. You cannot. So, determine clearly who you essentially are. Come back to this I. And when you come to this unbroken, continuous, akhanda, continuous self, only by contemplating on this continuity, only on contemplating on this continuous I. Yes, I am that. I have been continuous. I have been continuous. I have been continuous. The more you contemplate on it, the impact of the phenomena on you will keep reducing. And eventually the mind will become silent. Because who's contemplating on the I? The mind. Can the mind ever reach the I? No. Because mind itself is a phenomena expressing on the I. What is the wave thinking about? The waters. Where is the wave? On the waters, isn't it? Who is thinking of the I, the continuous I? The thoughts, which in other words the mind. Where is the mind and the thoughts? They are appearing on this continuous I. They are appearing on this reality, which is your essential nature. This way, unclick your mind. This is explained further through an example. Ka purahi adhi chandine कीतोसी न माखे तेणे तैसे केवल देखणे ठाए ठावो. The camphor does not get whiter by the bath of moonlight. It was always white even without the moonlight. Similarly, Paramatma is always of the nature of pure knowledge, irrespective of the world. So if you want to invoke this pure knowledge, if you want to invoke this truth that you essentially are, how do you invoke someone? Right now all of you are here and you go to sleep. How do I invoke you?
Call.
I'll call you out, isn't it? Can calling happen without a thought appearing in my mind? So if I want to call joy, the thought will come, that thought joy will express as the speech, and then that word joy may wake you up. Or you are awake, but I want your attention. Without me calling you, you will not give me attention. You may be busy with something else. Exactly the same way. If you want the attention of the divinity, which is ever attentive, but you want specific attention, the mind wants specific attention, it has to call it out, it has to think about it, it has to contemplate on it. Therefore we study the scriptures, to impress on the mind, not about the phenomena, but about the truth that we are. Right now it has gone so deep into the mind, we are so deeply attached to the phenomena that we are not recognizing who we essentially are, even though we are always that essential reality. Here Swamiji says, it is not necessary to make the camphor white by exposing it to the moonlight. It is already white. The moonlight can add nothing to it. So now, if you are the essential nature, you are the eternal I, you are the truth, you are the reality, you are of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss, that means you have been ever existing, you are all knowing and you are ever blissful, then where is the question of asking questions? That means we are not accepting ourselves to be that reality. We are not allowing that reality to pervade the mind, so that the mind expands and realizes that it is of the nature of consciousness. Because mind is what? Consciousness with thoughts is called mind. The more we ask questions, the more we think of limitation, of doubts, of various issues, till then we are still caught up in the mind. But when that same mind, whose phenomena is the thoughts are thinking about the reality, there is a possibility that the thoughts will subside. But first, that mind that must have faith that there is a reality, whether in order to go beyond it, beyond the mind. First, oh, this cloth is the reality. No, the thread is the reality. Can you see the thread? No, I can see the cloth. You see the ornament, gold is the reality. Can you see the gold? No, it has been painted, it has been colored, it has been made into a different shape. I can't see the gold, I can see the ornament. Hey, what this ornament is made up of is gold only. What this cloth is made up of is the thread only. What this thought is made up of is consciousness only. What this mind is made up of is consciousness only. But because our attention is on the phenomena and not the essence, it remains hidden. For that hidden thing, for that which is hidden to reveal itself, a little bit cool mind is required. A contemplation on that what is hidden, even though you are not seeing it, with faith we must approach that. Give it a try. Have a disposition that I don't know, but if the scriptures are saying, if the masters are saying, it must be true. And if it is true, it will be a fantastic realization, and I want to get there. I want to be there. I want to be it. Certain thoughts are clicking. When we talk about manifestation and unmanifestation, we are the presence. I have seen all the waker dreamers, deep sleepers come and go, but I have been the continuous presence. I can understand, but still it is not clicking. Keep thinking in that direction. Don't keep thinking in the direction of the phenomena. Keep thinking in the direction of those thoughts which unify everything, which are the substratum of everything. And those are the thoughts of reality, eternity, infinity. And in this way, in the same way, pure consciousness sees without becoming a seer, like a mirror which reflects everything, rejects nothing and retains nothing. See, the same thought of Swamiji, which we keep repeating so many times. Accept everything, reject nothing, retain nothing. We, on the other hand, go on receiving the impressions of the world on the retina of the mind and go on creating images. Images will be created. On the mirror also the images are created, but it does not retain, it does not allow precipitation of impressions to remain behind. What we do, everything that we are interacting, we are collecting data. Collecting. Therefore, I remember one of the most beautiful statements that Swamiji told me. When I met him first time and he said, okay, you can come and join to study the ashram for 2 years. I said, Swamiji, how do I prepare myself? I got 3 months before I come back. He says, go enjoy your life. Just you don't have to study Sanskrit, you don't have to cram anything. Just go and do what has to be done. Come with an empty mind to the course, to the study of the Vedanta course, to the classes. Study for 2 years sincerely and go away with an empty mind. Come with an empty mind, allow new ideas, etc., because phenomena will continue. Allow it to be poured into the empty mind. If it is full, nothing can be poured in. But make sure you don't retain any information, because the study of 2 years was not to make you intellectually appreciate the truth. The 2 years of study or even this satsang is not so that you give, yes, truth is. It does not need any confirmation from you people. The truth does not need confirmation because we went there to study in an ashram. Truth is self-existing. So what did we go there for? To study under the teacher, listen to the scriptures. Scriptures themselves say we cannot reveal the truth, we can only indicate. And where is the truth? It's everywhere. Where can it be caught? As the self, isn't it? So all the talk by the teacher, even here, it must be interacted. Don't get lost in the words, but what the words are indicating, our attention must come to that. If it is on that, then whatever data has been done, whatever explanation was there, it has got no meaning. Are we here for explanation or are we here to ascertain who we essentially are? See? So, if we have come to this point, if all the studies has brought to us, every class has brought to us to come back to ourselves, then after 2 years, what is there to take with you? Nothing to take. Nothing to take. Does mirror take anything with him? The whole world gets reflected in it, wherever it is kept, but it does not retain anything. See? So there is no memory, there is no expectation, there is no guilt. It is just as it is, reflecting the world as it is. That's how the Mahatmas live. So let your mind be like that mirror. Reflecting, accepting everything, rejecting nothing, retaining nothing. this also is a phenomena that is going on right now in this satsang. Your mind disposition should be accepting everything, rejecting nothing, retaining nothing.
What does it mean retaining nothing?
No, don't carry away from here by collecting the memory of this discussion.
It's when you go away, the image disappears, isn't it? You're in front of it.
Not just the image, but also all the thoughts.
Yes, I'm just as an example, a gross
Correct.
example. So that means the image is, you're there, your image is in the mirror, you go away, the mirror doesn't retain you.
Retain anything. But we meet someone and afterwards we talk about that person, we think about that person, we discuss about that person or that situation. Now you will go from here, you will have some tea, you will discuss what was the point and this and that, means memory is clicked in.
We're told to keep the mirror clean so that it's,
Remain empty.
yes, so you have to clean
No, you cannot make it clean.
the thoughts. But,
You
too many
cannot,
thoughts, no?
because in Vedanta you don't have to do anything.
Oh,
You think of the reality, it will automatically become clean.
yes.
Because cleaning, there is one way of spraying it and push, that is karma yoga. That is, you are putting efforts.
Yes.
If you clean the mirror by your efforts, it is only temporary. But when your mind, which is the mirror, now that mirror example is very limited in its expression, but take it that your mind, which is being here taken as the mirror, what is it made up of? What is your mind made up of? Consciousness. The physical mirror is not made up of consciousness. So your mind is made up of consciousness. If you maintain it always, keep it clean. How? By making the mirror, initially right now your mirror is attached to so many things and beings. Experiences, past, future, etc., etc. Now we are saying that make this mind to contemplate, make this mirror to think about its essence. And how can it remain continuously at its with its essence? By being it. For that, accept everything that comes, all the thoughts that come. Don't reject them, but don't retain all the thoughts that come. So even these thoughts that we are talking, don't retain them.
You can't buy it.
Because
Get rid of
consciousness is not a thought. The thoughts are right now all the language that we are using is indicating the subject matter which is beyond the thoughts. Thoughts are in the phenomena.
We come here to that saying every week. The thoughts don't matter. What changes us?
It's the phenomena. Phenomena's the genesis of the phenomena is change. That is the truth of phenomena. Nothing can be done about
Nothing
it.
stays the same.
But what
Nothing
cha-
remains the same.
What is it that changes?
Immaterial.
Concept
We are
else.
telling it's the phenomena. The phenomena is the change. Phenomena is the change. As long as you are obsessed with the change, what is that which is making this change happen? That is the phenomena. What is making the sun go and up and down every morning and every evening? It's the phenomena. It's your obsession. You know the sun is stationary, but your eyes are seeing the phenomena of sunrise and sunset. Similarly, you know that you as I are stationary, but the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper are coming and going. That's the phenomena. What is the phenomena? That which appears in its own absence. That which appears in its own absence. And we are giving reality to that which is not. So what is not? Thoughts are not, breath is not, body is not, the world is not. Why? Because it's coming and going. Then what is not coming and going? The I has never come and gone. Because I have known that from childhood till now, so many wakers have come and gone, dreamers have come and gone, deep sleepers have come and gone. But I, as the witness, have always been the same. I have never felt that I have come and gone. As a waker, yes, I have come and gone. As a dreamer, I have come and gone. But as the self, do you know that these three came and went for so many years? Yes, I know. The waker, dreamers and deep sleepers, every day they come and go. I have known. Then who is this fellow who knows? So determine. Are you the waker? Are you the dreamer? Are you the deep sleeper? Or are you the one who is allowing, on whom this phenomena of waker, dreamer and deep sleeper with their respective worlds is coming and going? If you get obsessed with one, right now our life is, we are attached to only waking. We are not attached to deep sleep and dream as much. With the waker we are attached. And therefore, that because we are attached to being the waker does not come alone. It comes with the waking experience of the waking world. So that waking world also becomes, we get attached to. The waking experience we get attached to. How do we dilute this? So we are only attached to 1/3 of our experience and taking that to be real. All our questions are about this waking world only. Come back to being the principle. Come back to being the substratum. This whole waking world is only 1/3 of your total experience of life on a daily basis. And this will continue if you keep thinking of the waker and the waking world. If you keep giving value to the people, forget the people, if you keep giving value to the body, that I am this body, that I am this waker, this is more important than the dreamer and the dream world and the deep sleeper and the deep sleeper, this will continue. How do you shoot out of this loop of waking, dream and deep sleep that we are finding ourselves to be caught in? The only way is, the equipment that we have is the mind, and that mind, which is essentially the consciousness, has to contemplate on the one who knows. Because that one who knows himself sometimes becomes the waker, sometimes becomes the dreamer, sometimes becomes the deep sleeper, and at times he also remains as the witness. That is our experience. Right now, if I ask, yesterday did you have the three experiences of waking, dream, deep sleep? You will say yes. How do you know? No, I know. You can't find out why, but you know. Be that. So the whole analysis is so that we wean our mind away from the phenomena and make that mind, which is itself is a phenomena, to think about the substratum. In that process of thinking about the substratum, the mind, the phenomena will lose its potency. The eyes are seeing the world. If you want to reduce the potency of and the impact of the world of forms on the eyes, you make the eyes see themselves. Can they see themselves? No. But if you try that, the impact of the world will start reducing. If you want to reduce the impact of the sounds, bring your attention to the eardrum. The impact of all the different good, bad, ugly sounds, you will not be disturbed. If you bring your attention to the tongue, to the taste, what is the source of the taste, all the taste will stop having influence on you. This is one of the techniques. So here the teacher says This hardness of the mind is liquefied by applying the heat of meditation. What is the hardness of mind? Identification. Identification with the body, identification with the gross. And gross has its own. Gross appears in three different places. It appears as solid, because matter can appear as solid, liquid or gas, isn't it? It's all matter. Similarly, here when he says the hardness of the mind can be solid, liquid or gas. The solidity can be the form, solidity can be the breath, solidity as you move deeper, and the thoughts are also solidity. They are convictions. We get caught up in our convictions, isn't it? This is my solid belief. We say that way. I'm convinced of this. You cannot change my mind. You have fixated. You are solidified in your own convictions. And we have become solidified in the conviction that I am this body. This has to be melted. And this melting can come about only by contemplation on the self, by continuously exposing the crystallized mind, the solidified mind to some heat. And what is the heat? The source is the main heat. To think of the source is to be in meditation. Wherever you are, however you are, whatever time. Meditation is only to think of the source. Yes.
Whenever there's an insight, an intuition or click, whatever you want to call it, when something really clicks, does the mind do that, or is the consciousness itself sort of
No,
realizing?
it is in the mind.
It is the mind.
It is the mind.
So
it is the purified mind. Purified mind.
Because it just comes.
Because consciousness doesn't speak anything.
No.
Consciousness just is. Consciousness just is. The realized masters also have a mind, but they are realized, isn't it? They have realized the consciousness. But when they function in the world, can you function in the world without a mind? But what is that mind? That mind has become like that mirror. It accepts everything, rejects nothing, retains nothing. And when this type of disposition is there in the mind, it becomes intuitive.
But then can an intuition or an insight be false? I get an insight and I think, oh, this is true, this is real. It feels real. Can it be not real? Can it be a lie?
Then if the intuition says that something in this world is real, then it is taking you for a ride. Because reality can be only one, and that is your essence. That is who you essentially are. Everything that comes and goes is unreal. So if that intuition says that, oh, this person, this is real, this person took me, I don't feel right in this person's company, or the intuition says, now don't go in that direction. Follow it. It's the phenomena which is following that, and you have to experiment with it to see. Sometimes we get lost in our own ability of intuition, that I think I have got this ability of intuition. Some people, I know some people like that. But their conclusions are wrong. Because if they were right, they will not ask me the question. So when you are developing that, when that ability starts expressing, the intuitive ability starts expressing, initially sometimes it is correct, sometimes it is not correct. But if you give value to the intuition, then you will lose it. If you continue to be on the journey to be the self, then whether you know it or don't know it, every word that you utter is correct. Every thought that you have is an expression of the divine then. That is intuition. Intuition is not a special ability for you to, a special ability, that idea only comes when you are an individual. If you consider yourself to be the reality, then everything I am, then every thought is an intuition, every interaction is an intuition, isn't it? The hardness of the mind is liquefied by applying the heat of meditation. This takes one to the state of seeing without being a seer. So, the mirror reflects without taking the ownership that I am reflecting. This is what it is. The mind reflects the world, interacts with the world without becoming the doer or the enjoyer or the owner. See? So the mirror reflects the world without becoming the reflector. There is no ownership that I am reflecting the world. Because it accepts everything, rejects nothing, retains nothing. If it is doing these three, the individuality will not precipitate in that mind. And therefore, there is no knower, there is no experiencer, there is no seer, etc., etc. The pure consciousness does not have to become a seer in order to see or to illumine the world. The pure consciousness is all-knowing. Without a thought, the consciousness knows everything. Without a thought. An individual cannot know anything without a thought because he is caught up in the phenomena. Phenomena is that which comes and goes, and that which comes and goes, he is trying to catch it and keep it with him by way of memories, by way of convictions, by way of ideas. They are only thoughts, isn't it? Mirror does not hold on to anything. You also keep your mind in such a disposition that it does not hold on to anything. Then it is pure consciousness. If it will hold on to anything, it has become the mind. So consciousness is all-knowing. It does not need thoughts in order to know something. It does not need to become a seer to see something. Why? Because it is everything. See the joy.
So you can't get away from it.
You can't get away from it.
Every analysis leads back to the same conclusion.
If you consider yourself to be the seer, then there is a seen. But we have already established before that the seer and seen are nothing but that pure consciousness only. Then from pure consciousness point of view, does it need to become a seer in order to see something? No, it is everything. Even while seer and seen are expressing, pure consciousness still is independent of the seer and seen. Even though the water allows the waves to appear and disappear, isn't it? But the water continues to be the same. It's ever the same, in spite of the multitude of waves coming and going. Agree? Same way, this pure consciousness that I am is continuously the same, in spite of all the thoughts coming and going. Come to that position while listening right now. You are that one in whose presence, on whom the thoughts are coming and going. You are not the thoughts, you are not the ideas, you are not the mind.
Then isn't it easy just to give up and trust this whole process instead of...
That is what we are trying to do. We are not going to give up. We are trying to trust this. First thing is trust this whole process. What did I say? Must have faith. But that faith, when you have faith, then this idea will take root in your mind. And when it takes roots in your mind, then by default you will keep thinking about this idea. That idea or this truth that I essentially am. If it doesn't take root in your mind, you will keep thinking of the phenomena. Because there is only two ways to go. Either you accept yourself as the truth, or you accept yourself as the phenomena. And it is always an illuminator of the presence as well as the absence.
I like that. That's just
So in this way, the teacher is beckoning us to come to our real position. And our real position is the one who supports the presence and the absence, and yet is beyond the presence and the absence. Who supports the seer and seen, yet is beyond the seer and the seen. Why seer and the seen are limited? But the one who supports the seer and seen, he is unlimited. He is infinite. And therefore he is beyond. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. बोलो ज्ञानेश्वर महाराज की जय. How beautifully